Welcome to the latest edition of Let's Talk About It. I wanted to bring in my friend Brian Kelleher. If you're into pizza in Amarillo, you know Brian very well. He is the owner of 575 Pizzeria. And I'm telling you, he is such an interesting guy, not only with the pizza, but you do so many things. I'm still shocked to this day that you're a hockey player.
Oh.
And you love it. You're passionate about it.
Very passionate. Yeah, I kind of got talked into playing again. I grew up playing roller hockey and didn't play for like 20 years. And then a couple old friends that I used to play with, Bobby Lee and David Cooper, owner of Roasters, were like, you need to come out and play. And I was like, man, I haven't skated in 20 years. They're like, it's not a big deal. There's a lot of new players. You'll fit right in. Scored a goal in my first game back, and I was hooked again. I was like,
You're right
this
in.
is amazing.
Yeah, so Brian is passionate about a lot of things, and we'll talk about them all today. Pizza, hockey, and Notre Dame. But let's start with 575. My wife and I were talking about this the other day when I was tossing around guests that I needed to bring in, and we both kind of landed on you. We remember way back in the day, before 575, it was Basil Docks, wasn't it?
Basil Docks, yep. Yeah, when we first opened 2006, which, we're going to be celebrating 20 years this year. And Basil Docks was the name. And, we went through 2 years of that. And then with the business we were associated with up in Denver, that kind of fizzled out. So we had to come up with our own name and change the name of all the pizzas and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, true confession here. So you had a contest basically where people could submit names.
We did.
Okay. I had a name, threw it in, it didn't get picked. I'm okay with it because I like 575, but mine was the Wheelhouse.
I was going to say, you told me this once. I can't
Yes,
remember.
it was the Wheelhouse.
Bad one. Yeah, that was actually a pretty good one.
Yeah, just because it's just it's just the Wheelhouse,
Mm-hmm.
and so but I can't imagine it anything different. I remember when 575 came out, we were all like, "Wait, what?" And you were like, "Well, that's the temperature." I'm like, "Oh,
yeah."
I'm
going to have to go back to that spreadsheet. I everything I do is on spreadsheets, so it's saved somewhere. I'm going to have to go back and look at that. But yeah, we had a contest, like you said. It actually kind of created our first database of customers that we then parlayed into, doing marketing and social media, all that kind of stuff is where that kind of got built. So.
It is one of our most favorite places to visit. First of all, I call you a friend of mine, and so you're wanting to pour into local businesses, and you're wanting to pour in to that. And you guys always have such. Not only do you have great pizza, but you have great people.
Yeah.
And I think that's the winning combination that you've been able to do, which is one of the things that I want. We're going to dive into the pizza here in a second, but how are you able to do it? And I know the restaurant business is so hard. But we have always been amazed at the quality of service and the people that you guys hire that
Sure.
take care of us.
Well, I think we start, and I don't really run a lot of day-to-day management as much as I used to in the beginning. Mm-hmm. I do think that those early years, I was 60 hours a week in the restaurant, for probably 7 to 8 years or so. And I think just that presence of me working alongside all of my employees, and if we were kind of in a rut in the kitchen, I'd hop back there and I'd toss some dough around, or I'd wash some dishes or whatever. If there was a problem or a long wait at the front, I'd come jump up there with the host. I'd start talking with the guests, and I was rubbing elbows with all my staff from the beginning, and they're the lifeblood of the whole business. Yeah. I remember a meeting one time that I said, it doesn't matter if we have the best food in the whole world. If we treat people poorly, they're not going to come back, and that kind of is what I've always just kind of revered about our business, is the hospitality aspect of it. We want to take care of people, and that's, I don't know if that was instilled in me somewhere along the way or just something I picked up, but it's definitely the core of our business.
And it matters, and you guys have been doing it well for 20 years.
Yeah.
I want to go back to the beginning. What was it about pizza? Out of all the things that you could have started in terms of the business, what was it about? Hey, I want to do this in Amarillo.
Yeah. Well, I was a part owner of a pizza place up in Denver. Like we said, Basil Docks is where the name came from. That was a business I was associated with in Denver. And when I moved home, I was really anticipating moving into accounting or insurance or something like that. I'd finally gotten a degree in accounting and thought I'd start my career off in Amarillo as a CPA or a financial planner or something like that. And I went back to Denver to kind of grab some stuff back at my old house, apartment, whatever. And my old boss / partner was asking me what I was going to do. And when I told him that, he was like, no, come on. Like, you can't sit at a desk all the time. And so he was asking me, like, well, what's the best pizza in Amarillo right now? And I said, well, I think of what I've read is Pizza Hut. He's like, well, you're going to knock that out of the water. Like, you know, you need to open at the time, Basil Docks. And I was like, I don't know, it was kind of light bulb a little bit. I just didn't even think about it until he said something. And once he said it, I was kind of hooked. I was like, I couldn't get the idea out of my mind. And so, you know, I talked with my family about it. My dad's passionate about wine. I was passionate about beer at the time. And we just were like, pizza, beer, wine, like it all goes together. And
yes.
And then there was also, you may remember, but Cafe Americana that was over on 6th Street.
Michelle and I were in this whole different conversation. Yeah. We remember going, like, that was the only, like, I guess, local pizzeria that I could think of.
Right.
And I couldn't remember who owned it, but we went in there the other day.
Yeah.
It's, I think, some vintage
like
furniture
lamp shop
store.
or...
Yeah, something crazy. Mm-hmm. But we walked back into where we used to sit back there, Cafe Americana.
Yeah, you actually went into the building?
Yes.
Oh, I'd love to go into that building.
Okay, so you go into the front of it, you go in, and it's just an antique, well, and just it has a bunch of stuff. But then they had just kept growing, and so you can meander back into the old Cafe Americana.
One where they had those seats with the, like, archways, windows that would look into the other dining portion.
It's all, like, so you'll walk back there, and some of that structure is still there. Obviously, the pizza oven is gone.
Right.
But you're right, that was, to me, the first one in Amarillo where I'm like, oh, this is different.
When I was in college, I mean, I'd come home and we'd eat, you know, like, where are we going to go eat? Everybody always has a favorite place. Mm-hmm. And we'd be like, well, let's go to Cafe Americana. And everybody all had that idea. You were waiting outside there for an hour and a half before you got your table.
Yeah.
And that was a short-lived restaurant, unfortunately. But fortunately for me, you know, it kind of paved the way for, like, this is what I want to bring back, is this, you know, pizzeria atmosphere with beer and wine. It's lively, it's boisterous, it's, you know, everybody knows each other, and there's a good staff there that's taking care of everybody. And, I mean, even in my opening speech to my first whole staff was like, there used to be a place, Cafe Americana, and it was a memory of mine. And I would say that's kind of, going back to that speech is where that was my whole, like, upbringing, was eating at small little hole-in-the-walls all over the country. I had brothers and sisters that went to college in far-off places. I had family that lived all over the country. So when we would visit places, we would always find little hole-in-the-walls and, you know, just little local establishments that, you know, had writing on chalkboard their whole menu, or, you know, the waiter would recite the special of the day kind of deal. And that was kind of my vision when we wanted to open this up and say, this is what we want to bring to Amarillo. And, I mean, 20 years later, I think we've done a pretty good job of it. So. And
I think you took whatever the idea. Do you remember who's in charge, who opened Cafe Americana?
I know there was an Exposito, because one of my first managers, Brandon Exposito, his cousin was one of the owners of it.
Well, I think you took that idea and went so far past that, because the environment, whether it's and we still like to go to both of them. I'm partial just because of Civic. Like, it's my, like, because when that's where it originally was, I like to go in there. But occasionally, if we're on the other side of town, we'll go.
Sure.
So you decide pizza, we're going to do it, but you did it different than everybody else. What was your thought process in the kind of pizza that you wanted to serve?
Well, I mean, the pizza that we made in Denver was that was the impetus for the whole thing. My ex-partner in Denver, I mean, that was his thing. He's like, you know, you're comparing our pizza to Pizza Hut. Like, you've already got a winning combination there. And so the recipe was solid. In fact, it won Best Pizza in Denver while we owned it. It was a recipe that was brought to Denver from a husband-wife duo that they went to school in Yale, New Haven, Connecticut. And if anybody's watched any pizza shows, like, New Haven, Connecticut has like 3 to 5 of the top pizza restaurants in the country every year.
That's crazy.
And this lady that we bought the recipe from, she claimed to have gone back to New Haven and convinced one of the owners of those places to teach her the methods and show her how to do everything. So she brought that recipe to Denver. We were reluctant, or fortunately, able to step in and buy it when they were finishing their career in Denver and wanting to move back to the East Coast. And so it was just, we were right place, right time with a good recipe. And then kind of the marketing side of it, the way my old partner puts it, he's like, you grew up there, you probably know half the young side of the town. My dad was a doctor here. He knew the other half, the older group of in town. And he's like, you guys already have the marketing figured out. You know half the town of Amarillo. So
yeah. And it worked really well, because if you go in on any given time, whether it's Civic or Hillside, you have an eclectic group of people. So you come to Amarillo. I'm anytime we bring in our family, and a lot of them are from Colorado.
Sure.
575 is always on the stop.
Mm-hmm.
We always go and either grab lunch or grab dinner there. It's one of our favorite places because it makes me proud. Like, hey, this is something we have, because every time we go there, I'm like, tell me what you've got. Like, show me something I can't eat. Yeah. And so we always love doing that. To me, the dough kind of stands out for you guys. I think it kind of has to start with that. What makes yours special?
I mean, it's very simple, but it's very, it's 4 ingredients, flour, salt, water, yeast. And, but, we let it, we make it every day for one. We don't buy store-bought crust or frozen crust or anything like that. And it's, we've actually been taking a lot of strides lately. My right-hand guy has been pouring into fine-tuning the recipe and getting it just right. And man, the fluffiness, the cracker thin, bottom of the crust, but the fluffiness in, above the bottom of the crust is just hitting a perfect mark right now. Yeah. Like, I'm just like, when I go in and eat, I'm like, I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing it, because this thing is tasting better and better than, it reminds me a lot of when we first started. But I think we just, as restaurants grow and age, they lose some of what got them there, but then they regain it. Yeah. I mean, it's constantly moving. It's, it's something that you're always trying to fine tune. And I think for a time we got out of that perfect crust, but I think we're back there and even better than we ever been right now.
So, and again, it's all about layering, right? So then after that, you have your sauce, which isn't heavy.
Right.
It's not overpowering. It is not, it's one, I don't like real saucy pizza.
Sure.
And I think it just hits that perfect line where the tomato, if you pick one of the ones that have the tomato base, it's not too acidic. I think you dialed that in really well too.
And that was, again, part of the original recipe. I think the lady who went to New Haven to get the recipe was using these tomatoes. She uses them, and we have never deviated from that. We're like, this is a part of our personality. Yeah. Like, it is who we are.
All right, this may be the hardest question, because I'm curious as to what your favorite is. Or do you go in ebb and flow? Like, 1 minute you're on the green striped piggy, the next minute you're on the mezcal. What are you?
Yeah, I eat pizza about 5 to 6 days a week, sometimes 2 times a day. So I have to change it up a lot. I'll say this, pepperoni basil is by far the best combination, and it's not even on the menu. Like, it is 2 simple ingredients that just together work the best.
I'm writing this down. Pepperoni basil.
That's all you need. That's all you need. And so anytime I can never figure out, like, what am I in the mood for? What, because I love the green striped piggy. That's probably, that I eat that probably more than anything. Mm-hmm. But anytime I'm just like, I just can't decide, I'm just like, go back to pepperoni basil. That's the standard.
That's just the baseline. You're right in that comfortable spot.
And but yeah, I'm always in a spicy mood sometimes too. So the Doro, it's funny. I'll still call pizzas from the old name, the Basil Doc's name. 20 years later, I'm still calling it the Moab. Yeah. But the Doro's a great one.
That's the one with the chili powder.
Yep. Chicken, pineapple, red onions, and jalapenos and chili powder.
You added one. Well, you didn't add. It's been on a while. It was the Gnarly Daniels.
Yep.
But it's
the base was the Charlie Daniels.
The Charlie Daniels.
Yeah.
And then for a long time, I think you told me about the Gnarly, and before it was on the menu, and I was ordering the Gnarly Daniels.
Yeah.
That is, that's probably, it fluctuates 1 and 2 between that and the green stripe picky. Both of them are very similar.
Well, it's funny bringing up the Charlie Daniels. I was leaving the restaurant for my daughter's birthday party today, and the guy who named and created the Charlie Daniels pizza walked in and sat down at the host stand waiting for a table. And I pointed out to some friends, I was like, that was the very first pizza that we ever named after one of our customers' designs, you know. And the guy looks like Charlie Daniels. He loves Charlie Daniels. So we told him, we're like, we're going to put this on the menu. You get to name it. And he's like, Charlie Daniels. Like, he's my favorite. So
that was it.
Yeah. And I mean, again, 20 years later, he's still coming in. I mean, he and his wife come in, I mean, I think at least once a week, maybe even twice a week. Okay. And they get it. But then we took that Charlie Daniels and added some jalapenos and the honey and turned that into the gnarly Daniels.
It is so. If you haven't had it, I strongly suggest the gnarly Daniels. I'm gonna bring up something that I don't even know if you guys do anymore. Your right hand man, when I see him back in the kitchen, he introduced me to something off menu. It was the Widowmaker.
Yeah.
And I don't. Again, you can ask for it. They're probably gonna look at you like you're crazy, like they don't know, because there's only, I think, like 1 or 2 people back there that know
very likely
what the Widowmaker is. But the way it's just like it's just like bread soaked in butter and cheese and
garlic and bacon. I think is usually part of it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny, again, like, you know, restaurants as they age, like they take on a life of their own. You've got employees that know how to make this or make that. There's a pizza right now, and my right-hand man, Mike Robertson, will get mad at me for saying this, but it's called the Dirty Cowboy.
Okay, so notice that I'm taking notes here. The Dirty Cowboy. Tell me about the Dirty Cowboy.
The Dirty Cowboy was created by one of our kitchen leads he's just had to leave us for, I think he's moving on to some welding, or no, he's going to Fermi right now.
Okay.
But it was like, I want to say ground beef, chicken, bacon, rolled in wing sauce, put on the pizza, and then I think there's diced up jalapenos, maybe some red onion. I don't think there's red onions. And then a drizzle, like a ranch drizzle around the top of it. And I mean, like, again, I'm definitely in spicy moods from time to time, and I'm like, that's probably one of the best spicy pizzas I think I've ever eaten.
All right, next time I see you in there, I have to throw this down. Throughout the years, you've had like some, I know, specials, and I don't know whether it's people in the kitchen kind of put these things together, where there was one in particular, I can't remember the name of it, but it was, you guys were having kind of a contest, and y'all would put them up. Again, you have to check when you walk in. Sometimes there was a write-up of a new one. Was there one that stood out to you throughout the years that one of your workers came up with, one of your employees?
I mean, I would say right now that Dirty Cowboy is the front runner, but through the years, there was one called the Fu Manchu that was named after me because of the silly mustache that I donned about 3 years ago. But there was one, I mean, there's been so many. I mean, I think our secret menu officially is just as big, if not bigger, than the normal menu. And I think there's about 20 pizzas that sit on the normal menu. And so, like, it's really hard to train new people all the time on not just the 20 we have, but 20 that anybody could just walk in and be like, hey, I heard about the Dirty Cowboy, or Andy told me about this other Widowmaker thing.
Right. So there was one, and it hurts me, it pains me, because I can't remember what it was. It was somebody's name who worked with you, and I think it started with like an E or so. I don't remember what.
The Erdman.
Okay, tell me what was on the. Do you remember what was on the Erdman?
That
was it.
That was it. Yeah. No, that was a ranch base with, and I've got all the secret menus in a spreadsheet.
Oh my gosh, this is so exciting.
So if I don't get it to you on here,
you text me because that was the one that when it popped up, I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a great pizza.
But it was ranch base. I believe it had a lot of toppings on it. It was Canadian bacon. It was mushrooms. It was spinach, I think, bacon. And I still feel like there's one or two more toppings.
Everybody
cheddar cheese, pepper.
Everybody watching this right now is like, I've got to go to 575 and grab some pizza.
Yeah.
I want to go back pre-COVID, because a lot of businesses were lost during COVID.
Yeah.
How were you guys able to keep doing what you're doing and not close the doors. I mean, it happened to a lot of our friends that have restaurants, right?
Yeah.
And they just get through this and they're like, we got to shut it down. How were you guys able to make it past that?
Well, I mean, truth be told, I feel like we're only just now past COVID, like within like the last 6 months, as far as us as a restaurant. I mean, just the tumultuous nature that put us into COVID and then all the ramifications that happened after. Leading into it, we were all over the internet. What are we supposed to be doing? How are we supposed to be taking care of our customers? It was a weird time because employees didn't know if they were going to have a job. They didn't know if they were, we didn't know if we were going to be able to pay them. You had the PPP loans come out. You had all the other kind of government created infrastructure to support all the changes that were happening. And that, I mean, we leaned into that a little bit to make sure that we could take care of our staff. We just basically convinced our employees that we will find out a way to take care of you if you want to stay with us. If you don't, because at that time too, there was unemployment, and unemployment, they were handing out money like candy too, So I sat down with every single one of my employees and I walked them through the decisions. I mean, I had a meeting at the time. We had 75 employees. I had a spreadsheet on each one of them. And I said, this is what we can pay you because you get paid this amount of money. And what we can do is cover that, or, it's not as much as, what you can go get in unemployment.
Right.
Like, we would educate every single one of our employees. Sometimes they bring their parents in. They're like, can I get my parents to let you tell me what you're telling me? And we would walk them and their parents through it and just say, this is what we can pay through the closure. That was the kind of employee side. The customer side, you didn't have dining rooms for, I can't remember the exact time period, but I want to say at least 2 months, maybe 3 months.
Yeah, I felt like right around March, it was the last part of February, first part of March, and we were all like, I remember basketball, one of the first things, like a basketball game was canceled.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And little did I know what was going to transpire after that, and then proceeded on for a really...
Yeah, I remember it because we were supposed to go out of town for spring break right around that time. Right at that time, my older brother had passed away about 2 or 3 months before, and we were going to have a memorial service for him in L.A., and we were getting ready to board the plane. We were heading to the airport, and we're like, the airport shut down. Nobody's going anywhere. Yeah. And so, we canceled that memorial service. I'm pretty sure we suspended our spring break trip. Can't remember if we went on that or not. But anyways, it became we were already kind of hearing the rumors of things coming down, but on the backside of spring break, whether or not I went on it or not, we just poured every effort into figuring out how to take care of the employees. And then the guests, like I said, the dining rooms were closed. We had anybody we could employ. We had them on the phones, answering phones. We set up separate stations at Hillside. We were taking orders on the front door and the back door, running pizzas out to cars. We probably weren't as efficient or as innovative as some companies that I'd read about through COVID, right. But we were processing orders like crazy. We actually got so far behind on orders to the point of 3-hour waits that was the birth of our take and bake pizza. We started telling people hey, we recognized that we'd lose them on the phone and they'd call somewhere else, and we were like, we gotta save these. We're losing sales. Yeah. And so we're like, well, what if we roll out the take and bake and convince people we'll give you the pizza, you just take it home to your house and cook it because our ovens are full. Yeah. And so that was the birth of our take and bake pizza, and that's gone pretty well since then. It's something we probably don't market enough, but it's great for those customers that live 20, 30 minutes out of town that, by the time their pizza gets home, it's already cold and all that kind of stuff. So trying to convince some of those people to learn about our take and bake. But
teach us how, again, there's a method to this madness. When you take your pizza home, do me a favor, don't microwave it. There
right.
is a specific way with 575. So give us the hack on how to warm up pizza when we get home.
And I would say it's not just 575 pizza. ours is better that way. But
I think yours is the only one I take home.
Yeah,
I mean, we're being honest.
But yeah, a microwave is terrible for pizza. I always hated it, even growing up. I'm like, it tastes terrible. It's gross. Yeah. But no, you either a skillet, cast iron skillet, just regular skillet, doesn't matter. Get it hot, turn the heat all the way up on it. Make sure it's hot and ready whenever you put a slice down, and then take a slice out of the box or out of a plastic bag if you keep it in that. Throw it on the skillet, put a lid over it, either a cookie sheet or something like that, or just the lid to the pan. And about 3 minutes is all you need, 2 to 3 minutes, and that crust will be just like you got it from our restaurant, and every topping on there will be warmed up just perfectly.
If you stayed this long into it, that hack right there is worth its weight in gold. You play hockey. We talked a little bit about that, and that's something you want to continue to do. I mean, Bobby Lee's doing it. He's 70 something.
Bobby's back playing again. I mean, I was playing with him when I was 16, 17, 18 years old, and now he went through some hip surgeries and some ankles and stuff like that, but he's back on skates.
We have a thriving little hockey community here.
Our adult league is 260-plus players right now. I'm the commissioner of the whole adult league, so I manage kind of all the sign-ups and divisions and registrations and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it is thriving. It's fantastic. And obviously we've got youth hockey. We've got girls are playing, even women. We've got, in our adult league, we've got, I want to say 8 to 10 women playing in our league in various divisions. And they love it. It's great exercise. It's, gets you out doing something new. It's the camaraderie in the sport is fantastic. You're spending 20 minutes getting dressed, 20 minutes getting undressed. Yeah. That locker room time is invaluable to just kind of hang out with the buddies and talk about hockey and talk about other things.
I had a friend of mine who was going through a tough time. It's just kind of a personal thing that he was kind of getting through. And I believe that hockey, the hockey league got him.
Yeah.
He found community in there, and so I'm appreciative of that. Your love for the Irish, where did that come from?
Oh, that's 5 generations.
Yeah.
I was 5th generation Notre Dame student, and I don't know. I've been going to Notre Dame football games since I was in 2nd grade. I only applied to Notre Dame out of high school.
That was there was only one choice.
It was like, that's where I'm going, kind of. But I don't know. Going to college, when I didn't get the admissions letter right away, I started getting nervous and thinking, I need a safety school. I need to Fortunately, the letter came, and that's where I went. But I've been steeped in it my whole life. To the point in which, when all this NCAA football championship kind of stuff happened at the end of this last year, a lot of people are throwing around, well, Notre Dame's this, Notre Dame's that. There's just not a lot of people know the real background of why Notre Dame is independent, why they've, remained independent. And
give us the 2-minute Cliff Notes version.
I mean, it goes back a long ways. I mean, you could say Notre Dame tried to get in the conference back in the 10s, 20s, and the Big Ten wouldn't let them. They were a Catholic school and said, not going to have you. And so Notre Dame, through Newt Rockne, kind of figured out, if we're going to get Notre Dame on the map, I'm going to take this school and play every team anywhere in the country anytime. And that was kind of his deal, is anywhere, anytime. So he went out to USC, he went out to Oregon, he went out to, schools all over the country and just building a fan base. And he was probably one of the best football marketers ever in the 10s and 20s. And so, I don't know, I think, Notre Dame is just, we obviously have a great TV contract with NBC, and that, pays for a lot of things. Yeah. I mean, and honestly, I don't think there's really any other school that can pull that off.
Well, it's its own brand, right? Notre Dame is its own brand. When you see a Golden Dome, you know exactly who that is. Or you see that Indy, you 100%,
Yeah.
It's its own thing.
And I don't know. I'm not a big fan of all this gigantic conference building. We all know. Every pundit talks about how college football has changed and whether it can be changed back to anything what it was before. I don't know. But we're going down kind of a weird road.
I don't know if you can fix it. I don't know how far down the line it goes until. We could talk I mean, we could do an entire
Yeah.
podcast of you
Yeah.
talking about college football. But yeah, it's bizarre. But I always think about you because there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I'm a Notre Dame fan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, but not like Kelleher.
Yeah.
Like you're the biggest Notre Dame fan that I have ever met in person, which is definitely saying something. Well, keep doing what you're doing, Brian, with your restaurant. I'm glad that you could carve out a little bit of time to come in and talk, and I feel like we could go on and we could do this. And I may just have to bring you back as kind of things go through there. It's just we could talk for a while. Any big things coming up on the horizon for 575?
Well, yeah, I mean, it is our 20th birthday. We're doing that. We went through a fire, last few years ago, so we were able to revamp our Civic location, gave it a facelift, added another room. We look to start doing kind of some concert series, like concert DVDs or something. We've got a great sound system in there. And that's kind of like, I'm like, I want a little bit more live music, but in this area, a lot of live music is primarily country. And so I want to try and figure out a way to do more, to kind of have different genres of music and, different fans of music represented there.
Well, keep the pinball machines in there.
Pinball machines are going.
And a question is, our friend Jeff Wyrick, does he still have the high score on Galaga?
Oh, I hate to say it. I think no, it's still there. Those machines change out.
It's funny, when we were talking, literally Jeff Wyrick texted me, and so he's it's funny, most of the time that I end up in there, Jeff and I go a lot at different times, but we always end up seeing each other.
But no, he's make sure that his score is up there. If not the top, it's in the top 5.
All right. So stay tuned. The 20th anniversary of 575, and that includes the Basil Dock area as well. Man, glad you guys are here. I'm glad you continue to take care of your clients and just doing good things. And thank you for bringing quality pizza and really inspiring that next generation. Like, I think we don't get our guys over at Pizza Nomad. I think 575 kind of carved the way for those other people to be able to do what they do and do it well in their own right.
Yeah.
But I think that's
for sure
something that you got to pioneer through that. All right. Brian Kelleher, thanks for joining us for Let's Talk About It.
Appreciate
I'll be
it,
into
Andy.
the restaurant soon.
All right.
We'll catch you on the other side.
Sounds good.